Hello. Um, it turned out to be a beautiful day. It was kind of cloudy, and a really big rainstorm missed me by probably 10 miles. But it was really cloudy. Now the sun's shining. Um, pretty beautiful day now. Excuse me. Coffee. Can you guys hear me? Video good? Video quality? Internet speed's not too bad. So, I'm out here at the property, um, living off grid. The only thing theoretically on grid. Hey, Dove, how's it going, brother? Can you hear me good? Um, the only thing theoretically on grid, so to speak, is my. Um, hello, Papa. Hey, Jamie, how's it going, brother? Um, so yeah, I've got solar panels. Hey, Trey. Um, my ducks are coming to check me out. All right, good, cool. All right, quack quack. Go back to your pond. Goofy ducks. So, anyways, I need to shave. The I've had an issue with my well. Um, I hand dug a well for now. It works okay. I run the water through a filter. The only thing I'm doing with it is thanks, Jamie. The only thing I'm really doing with water is showering, flushing the toilet, um, doing the dishes, watering the chickens, stuff like that. I'm not drinking the water. Um, so I've got a new plan for a well. So my property is about half of it, give or take, maybe even a little bit more, just a little bit, um, is a marsh, if you want to call it that. So in all reality, it's a big hole full of a floating mass of vegetation. To be honest with you, excuse me. Dub's always busy, but so I thought that hey, if I put the well, hi Richard, if I pound the, yeah, it's my ducks from my house. I brought them out here and kind of let them go in the marsh, and they hang out right here and eat the weeds and the bugs, and every once in a while they'll come up here and say hi. But yeah, so um, I started pounding my first well, and it's the first time I've ever pounded a sand point, um, and it was miserable, an absolute pain in the you know what. So um, here's Dakota. She loves it out here. Don't you, Dakota? Go lay down. Go lay down. You're not a lap dog. You're not a lap dog. Go lay down. Sorry. Anyway, so I started pounding the well. I used a sledgehammer, which works if you hit it straight. Um, and apparently, I forgot how hard I can swing a sledgehammer because I annihilated the well pipe. Um, I managed to smash the pounding cap onto it. And well pipe is super heavy duty pipe. And I'm only swinging a 12-pound sledgehammer. So I ended up having to buy a grinder, which I've wanted and needed a cordless grinder forever. So I bought a nice DeWalt one. It was on sale at Ace Hardware. Um, so I bought that. I cut it off. I had to buy a pipe threader. I threaded the pipe, bought another coupling, bought another, or sorry, didn't buy a coupling, bought another pounding cap, Put that on there. I made sure after every 3 or 4 swings to tighten everything up, and I did the same freaking thing. So I had to again cut it off, rethread it. This time, I remember seeing a video on YouTube, which is a great place to get information and to check out my channel, um, which I haven't been on much, and we'll. There we go. Sorry, the chat wasn't up. So I ended up cutting it off and redoing it and pounding this well down. Now my theory was, well, hey, there's water there. Let's get as we can to it without messing with it. There we go. Sorry, I don't know what happened there. It glitched on me. So, anyways, yes, please do hit the thumbs up. Um, so I ended up for live chat. Sounds like a four-wheeler coming down the road. God, I wish I put a gate up. I'll get to that too. So anyways, I pound the well and I make a pipe nipple. I seen it on another YouTube channel. I don't remember who it was, or I'd give them a shout out about. They suggest using a pipe nipple, and for the exact reason of what happened. So I made a pipe nipple and I smashed that thing to hell. It looks like a pancake, but it worked. So I pound and I pound and I pound. And I go through about 12 foot of clay, which was terrible. And then, so I measure it, and I'm at 17 feet. Now, the water table in this area runs 15 to 25 feet. So I end up measuring it, and I'm 17 feet down. I got 8 inches of water in the bottom of my well. Sweet. I'm at the water. So I have to go higher than the sand point. So I have to pound down more. So I decided I'm going to go down another 2 feet on that day, and this was a multi-day process. It's not easy pounding a well, especially through clay. So I get down to the 17 feet, 8 inches of water. I decide I'm going to pound 2 feet down more. So I mark on the pipe from the water level of my hole that filled in with rainwater, because we got a lot of rain. I measure 2 foot. So I pound it down. I measure it again, because, now I should be at, 19 feet or so, almost 20 feet. Excuse me. And I measure it, and guess what? I'm at 17 feet still. I must have hit a rock and just completely flattened the sand point. I do have a one of those scope cameras. I'm going to hook it up probably tomorrow, and I'm going to run it down there, and I should be able to see the bottom of it to see if I smash that thing or not. So very disappointed. So up here on top of the hill where the bus is and everything, when I dug the landing pad, as I call it, when I dug all that out, I found sand and gravel and everything in one spot. So I dug it down an extra foot, and I kept digging sand and gravel out of that one spot, and I spread it everywhere. So I have it's nice up here. It's nice and packed. There was a little bit of clay, so thank God we had monsoon rains, and that ended up washing all them clay particles away. Hey, how's it going, Harold? Washed all that clay away and everything like that. Hey, Brian. I will get to that. So stick around, Brian. Hey, how's it going? Oh, hey, Derek. I love your name. So yeah, I messed that well up, but over kind of behind me, you can't really see it, but actually it's about directly behind me. Come here, leave those ducks alone. Stay, good girl. So oh yeah, it's been a battle. Come on, get out. You're not a lap dog. So behind me is where all that sand and everything is. So I took my my divining rods and why isn't that showing up all the way? I thank you, Jamie, but for some reason it your message didn't show up all the way. Oh, it showed up at the top. Okay, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Go lay down. Um, so I end up taking my divining rods, which I just made out of coat hangers, which not everybody can do that, but I actually can. That's something that, okay, I guess somebody wants to be a laugh dog. That's actually something that I discovered that I could do years ago. She's jealous because I'm not talking to her. When Catherine and I video chat, she tries to do this all the time. But, Harry, come on, get on. No, Dakota. You go lay down. Goofy. So, anyways, behind me is all sand. I did the divining rod trick, and yeah, they bloop, right there. Um, so, yes, I did. I am living in the bus full time, and I will get to what the future is going to bring. Um, so, uh, I hope you're back too, Dub. I miss watching. I miss watching your videos. Um, yeah, life's been hectic for everybody the last few months, it seems. I've been super busy and haven't been on here very much. Um, it's hey, how's it going, buddy? Um, no, I no, and I'll get to that here real quick after I'm done telling my well story. Um, so what I'm going to do next weekend, I'm going to rent a mini excavator. Um, and so, like I said, the water table is roughly 15 to 25 feet down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig a 10-foot hole, probably 6 foot by 7 foot, give or take. Um, I got some really good solid oak timbers that are 10 feet long. I'm going to use those and some 2x4s and plywood, etc. I'm going to shore it up so it doesn't collapse on me. That would be terrible. That'd make a horrible video. So uh, I'm going to dig 10 feet down, do all that, and then I'm going to take my post hole digger. I'm going to dig down about another 5 foot. So that will put me in that 15-foot range. So I'll either be um, I would love one. I may be at the water level and only have to pound, a little bit of pipe and a new sand point, obviously. Which I'm going to pull that old pipe out of the ground. That's the other thing I'm going to do with that mini excavator. Um, and it's a couple other miscellaneous things. I got to move a tree and some other stuff. But even if I have to pound down the 25 feet, it's going to be sand. God, because this is my theory, and I pretty much proved it today when I was doing something down by the marsh. So, the reason there's water in this marsh is it's a depression that filled with clay. As far as I can tell, about 12 feet thick, because that's roughly when I pounded the first well, I went 12 feet and then it got easier. So I'm assuming that's when I hit the sand. So this marsh is a marsh because it's a great big bowl of 5 to 10 foot of clay, as far as I can tell. Maybe more, maybe less. Um, and then it filled with water, but unfortunately, it's overgrown with a mass of peat moss and weeds and some of them. I can't remember what those pine trees are called. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Um, there's some, I call them scrub pine, but they're some kind of a pine tree that grow in marshes. All right, come on, Dakota, you need to get down. You're not as small as you used to be. Um, so it's terrible. Eventually, I want to build my solar array out there because where I've got it right now, um, I had to cut down a few trees anyways, but it worked good cutting those trees down because I'm getting very good uh, solar rechargeability. I don't know what it's called. But it's doing good. You know, it's charging the batteries. Another cool side note. So I work in the metal recycling industry, um, and 2 pallets full of solar panels showed up to work the other day. I'm not exactly sure where they came from or anything like that, but just plumb full of solar panels. Now I had bought 3 of them, and I got a video that I'm going to upload tomorrow. I got to edit it still, but I'm going to upload it tomorrow about doing the solar panel things. And I got a hell of a good deal on them. And I'll give you guys information on where if you want to get some solar panels, you can too. I was waiting for somebody to notice the payphone. Um, it honestly, if I wired it up, it probably would. I've had that thing for about 4 or 5 years. My house I used to live in before I moved up here, I actually hung it on the telephone pole, just as a gag. But I'm gonna mount it out here somewhere too. So, but yeah, the solar panel is working good. So with the solar panels, I asked my boss. I said, "Hey, these panels come in. I will make a deal with you to buy those from you." And he says, "Take as many as you want." That's a hell of a deal. That's the kind of deals I like. Unfortunately, all the big ones was for 470 watts. Right now, I've got 310 watt solar panels pushing, but almost all those panels were broken. The cool part is 5 of them. So I have 5 370 watt panels also, and they're a little bit better than the ones I bought. They say that they'll in shade they'll still create 50% power. So whatever half of 370 is, that's roughly allegedly what I'll be getting. Um, so I'm gonna swap 3 of them, my 3 that I have now, out with 3 of the other ones and clean them up. Currently it is right now, Brian, for about another probably month or two because I still have to clean all my stuff out of there, which I'm not looking forward to, but most of it's going to the dumpster probably, except for my camping gear, obviously. I am eventually going to build a small shed out here also. That's going to go over top of the well, for storage and stuff. But I'm going to swap those 3 solar panels out tomorrow so I get a little bit better charge. Um, with those ones, when it's real cloudy, they don't produce a lot of electricity, unfortunately. Um, so it's there's been a couple of times where I woke up in the morning. I bought a really nice Renogy 2000 watt inverter, because I do have a little the smallest washing machine I've ever seen in my life. Um, Catherine actually gave me the idea. She has one, but hers is bigger, um, in the Philippines, and I was just super impressed with that thing. So I researched them a little bit. They don't use very much power, but I've got that. Eventually, I'm gonna buy a mini upright freezer, because I still do have some pork and some beef left in my deep freezer. Um, Dude, that washer's friggin' awesome. You can wash about 1 pair of my pants, at a time. It's roughly actually about the size of a 6 gallon bucket. Um, I missed your message there, Brian. Apologize. I still have your house address. Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Um, but uh, I found on Amazon this little. It's like a 3 or 4 cubic foot upright freezer, and it uses barely any electricity. The initial electricity use is the going, the startup, and then it barely uses any, which is awesome. So, um, sorry, my nose is stuffy, allergies. Yay. Um, I did that. I built a nice little dog kennel for Dakota for when I'm at work, so she's not locked up in the bus. I built the chicken coop, which you guys will see that too. I had to get all new chickens, unfortunately. The owls got the rest of mine. Um, so yeah, and my rooster is gone. Um, my last laying hen, uh, stupid owl got it too. So I got, oh, there's your bug. I got, hey, how's it going, Shannon? Yeah, solar panels are great. I've got a small battery bank, but I plan on expanding it. Right now, I've got 484 watt hours of uh, battery bank. Um, and I just bought deep cell lead acid batteries. I would love to get some of those lithium batteries, but they are just, my God, they're expensive. And if you take good care of them, a deep cell battery will last you for years. Um, but so I got all new chickens, so I don't have any eggs right now. It'll be few months or so before they start laying eggs. Once I get a big tree out of the way, I gotta kind of trap them and then move their chicken house there where I want it to be, so I got my yard will look a little bit bigger. Um, excuse me. I got a little shower shack that I made um, so I can stand up. The shower in my bus is great if you're as tall as Catherine. Um, but I put all my solar panels or my solar lights up, my solar motion lights. I don't want any roosters, sweetheart. There's enough roosters in the Philippines. I don't need to hear them every day. Um, so, coffee. Um, but yeah, I got all my lights up and I got all my security cameras up because unfortunately this road that I live on is some people would call it minimal maintenance, but it's actually an absolute no maintenance road. They don't do anything out here. I had made a drag for dragging behind my vehicle to level off my driveway. I brought that out here. If I ever hit the lottery and can afford the gas, I'm going to try to grade this road a little bit because it is terrible. But, sorry, my nose. So the problem is everybody in the area has treated, there's actually a little gravel pit um, at the end of the road. Uh, and it's an old gravel pit. And by the looks of it, they probably used horses and steam engines. It's old. It's not very big. It's old. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I got a big I beam and a piece of steel cable. It works really good. I do have chain link fence though. Maybe I'll connect a piece of that just to help level it off some. That is a very good idea. Thanks, Dub. Um, but so everybody treated it like the local dump. I took a short video of it, and it's very sad and disgusting. Um, I don't know if I uploaded the video or if I just shared it with a couple of friends and family. But people would go down there and dump their garbage out, couches, mattresses, you name it. Well, the good news is since I moved out here and I put up my security cameras and about 50 signs that say "Smile, you're on camera," etc., the traffic has slowed down tremendously. And people would come out here and do drugs too, but again, that's slowed down tremendously. A new friend of mine, he bought another piece of property just up the road, and he's gonna be moving out here, living off grid too. I'm probably gonna give him one or two of them solar panels just to help him out a bit. But he's a really cool dude, about my age. I think he's a little bit younger. Um, But once he gets living out here too, I think the traffic's going to cease to exist. I'm trying to find out who the property owner is at the end, um, so I can ask him if he's good with me putting up a gate, um, just to keep people out of there, you know. It's disturbing. I seen a brand new, probably $70,000 pickup truck drive down there and throw a mattress off a couple weeks ago, and I thought, really, wow, didn't want to pay the $20 to get rid of it. Right on. So, yeah, people are disgusting. Um, so, uh, yeah, hopefully they completely quit. I had a guy the other day. He had a pickup truck just loaded with garbage, and Dakota ran out to the road, so I run out there real quick because I didn't want her to get run over or anything like that. And I stopped the guy and I says, "Hey, how's it going?" I says, "You picking up scrap metal or what you doing?" "Oh, no, no, I'm just making sure nobody's out here throwing out garbage." Yeah, sure you were, buddy. But yeah, but he won't be back because I'm here now. But you know, now I have been super busy, and I apologize to you guys. I haven't been uploading videos or anything. Really, a couple of shorts, a little bit of my trip to the Philippines. I still have those, a lot of content with that to upload and share with you guys. Um, I couldn't. I literally couldn't because, excuse me, down where I lived, um, I had awesome internet through T-Mobile and their T-Mobile home internet. Awesome speeds. I mean, I'm talking 400 gigabits download and roughly 20 to 40 or not gigabits, megabits. I wish it was gigabits. That'd be awesome. Megabits upload. Um, but here, unfortunately, I am about right smack dab in the middle of three different towers. Now, the problem with that, and maybe it's different, but it used to be the problem with that, when you're in the middle of three different towers or even two different towers, if you're right in the middle where those two signals connect, they will fight over each other to service your cell phone or whatever. So, I mean, there was days where I had really good download speeds and I could watch YouTube without it looking like I was looking through my bad eye the opposite direction. Um, but the upload speed was about useless. Now, yeah, I could have edited them and nice. That's awesome. Um, hold on. Why do the chats keep disappearing? I want them to stay on all the time. Yes, getting to that, Dub. Um, so, I could have edited the videos on my laptop and then transferred it to my cell phone. And then at work, I have really good cell coverage, really fast data and everything because I'm right by a tower. Um, the problem is that that's really annoying. Um, so, you know, I I have looked at Starlink internet uh, a few times. It's expensive to get it. It's expensive to have it. With T-Mobile, I was paying $50 a month, and with what I have now, which is Starlink, it's $135 a month. It's expensive. Um, the cool thing is, though, see, I couldn't get it up here because I don't have a physical address yet. I have to do a few things and pay $100 to get a physical mailing address. Um, and so I'm going to do that eventually. It's not on my priority list right now. My priority list is getting a well. So I got a really nice well pump and everything. Um, excuse me. So just recently, Starlink, because where I live down there, Starlink, I'm on a waiting list until the beginning of next year. And I was like, well, okay, yeah, there's my Here we go. Sorry. I think that's my iPad. But I have an iPad from like 3 or 4 years ago. Maybe I should upgrade one of these days. I don't know. But anyways, so Starlink allows you to buy it for RVs, which, hey, look what's behind me. It's an RV. So what's cool about that, I can take it anywhere with me, even the Philippines if I wanted to. But, once I get some form of a house out here, which will be eventually, um, uh, um, I will explain that next, Brian. Um, so, uh, the bullet and I got Starlink. Now, what's cool is like I said, I can take it anywhere with me. Once I get a house of some form out here, um, I start traveling, going camping, whatever, I can bring it with me in the bus anywhere. I'm hoping to go back to the Philippines. Well, not hoping. I'm going back to the Philippines in January, if I wanted to, which I'm not going to because I need my security cameras running. But if I wanted to, I could take it with me. Um, Whereas regular Starlink for your house, which is exactly the same thing, you can't. So um, I got that, and I set it up last night on top of. It's kind of hard to see, but actually, oh, you can't see it at all. Right there by the payphone, I got a little pole that I made because that's one of the trees that we had to cut down. But I made this little pole deal, and I hung my solar lights on it, my solar motion lights on it. So if anything comes in the yard or anybody, it lights the yard up like a Walmart parking lot. So I ended up getting the Starlink, and I set it up, and it worked. It took forever to find signal. And I guess I should have maybe read the instructions instead of burning them. Um, but so the satellite dish from where my location is points to the north. So, well, north, there's a great big oak tree right there that is going to come down eventually, just not right now. Um, so it was cutting off part of the signal, and I had crappy service. Um, so today, and I filmed the video, and I'll be uploading that here shortly. Not today or anything like that, but sometime this week. This coming week technically because it's still Saturday. But anyways, so I went down to the marsh, which I mean it looks like dry land out there, but I'm smarter than that. So I took a stick and I started poking, and no, it's like a big gelatinous blob of vegetation, with a couple of trees ironically living out there. So God knows how deep that thing is, but the last thing I want to do is walk out there and disappear. Um, so I built a little thing and I put my Starlink down there, and it works great. And I'm going to do the same thing with the solar panels this winter. When it's frozen, I'll go out there and I'll drive a couple of poles down and build a platform out there and put my solar panels on it. So I uh, I ended up doing that, and it seems to be working really well. The one thing I am disappointed though, the router that comes with Starlink is terrible for a coverage area. So you can, for 25 bucks, you can get this little adapter. I'm going to do that, and then get a outside booster antenna. Basically, is what it is. You run an Ethernet cord to it, and it broadens your coverage. So I'm going to do that eventually. As far as Catherine coming to the U.S., um, our report of marriage has finally reached the Philippines. They must have sent it by boat, um, or maybe a carrier pigeon. I don't know. But it finally reached there. So Monday or Tuesday, I don't remember which day, um, Catherine is going to go to the PSA and have her name legally changed to my last name. Um, so it'll be Catherine Outdoors. No, I'm kidding. Um, so she's going to do that, and then I'm going to start the paperwork Now, my good friend and Catherine's good friends, I should say, Ryan and Chew, they got a YouTube channel, Ryan and Chew Adventures. Check out their videos; they're really cool. Um, they're the ones that helped us get married online and everything else, and because that's how they got married and how he was able to go over there to the Philippines, and ironically, basically how I was able to go over to the Philippines. But now they're open back up, so in January I won't have to worry about any of that stuff. But so what we're gonna do is when she legally changes her name, because it'll be a little bit easier, I think. I'm gonna hire a lawyer, um, because if you mess up on the paperwork, you got to do it all over again, and I don't want to run that risk. And a guy I actually work with, he's married to a Filipina, um, and he went through this same outfit. Now he did the 90-day fiance visa, whereas I'm doing the CR1, which is to bring my wife and technically stepdaughter, but might as well be daughter, over to the U.S. Now, generally, that takes roughly a year, but Ryan was doing some research and on some different forums and stuff like that. And evidently, if you reach out to your local congressperson, um, they can help push that through. And he has heard stories or talked to people, not like heard stories, but talked to people that have done that, and they have gotten it pushed through like the next day. So, ironically, a good friend of mine um, personally knows a congressperson here in Minnesota. So when I get the um, CR1 visa started and it gets acknowledged, and I pay the money to bring them both over here to pay for everything, the visa basically, and all that. Um, he's going to reach out to that gentleman and have him reach out to me, or give me his contact information to see if he can help push this thing along. So um, I'm hoping to be to that point in the next couple of months. Um, I'll be starting the paperwork and hiring the lawyer probably in about the next month. Um, and if it works out, I mean, I might be flying there in January to get them, to bring them back to the U.S. if it works out. So if not, it'll take a year. So I'm hoping by July, August of next year, they'll be here, hopefully. Um, Now, I discussed my kids or Catherine's daughter, my daughter, our daughter. It kind of feels funny saying it. Just usually people are like, "Oh, my stepdaughter," but yeah. Um, no, my kids are older. Um, so and my son's working and stuff like that. So they will come out to visit. I've just been so insanely busy that it just hasn't happened yet. But my daughter's really super excited about coming out here, and I know my son will want to come check it out. Um, Now, I discussed this whole thing with Catherine and everything, because some people would be gun shy about doing this. I mean, I've got a bus right now, um, and she loves the idea, supports me 1,000%, which is an amazing feeling. Um, so she is gung ho for staying with us, but my neighbor, any plans for future kids? Absolutely. Um, Tried without success. Not to get too personal with you guys. But yeah, we plan on having at least one together, if not two or a dozen. Who knows? Um, so we'll see what the Lord brings us. Um, but so I was talking with Matt and what his plans are, because he's got a van and a tent there right now. Um, but I was talking to him, and he stumbled across an ad on Craigslist for a guy here in Minnesota that builds basically they're tiny houses, but they're kind of like a shed, but they're big. Um, Thanks, I appreciate it. So I thought, oh, that's kind of cool because my plan was to build a cabin, but the problem is the price of lumber is insane. It's not going to go down. I mean, the price of lumber has gone down, but it's not going to go down in the stores because they're using the gas price. So it's not going to go down profits on it. Kind of like everything else. So I think they call that price gouging. Um, so it would cost a lot to build a cabin. I was going to build about a roughly a 700 square foot cabin. I was going to do most of it by myself. Hopefully, Catherine will be here and to be able to help me. That would be great. So I was going to do that, and then I seen Matt was up here. I think it was last weekend or the weekend before. So I went down there to BS with him a bit, and I was talking to him, and he says, "Oh, he says, yeah, man." He says, "I decided I'm going to pull the trigger." He says, "I'm gonna get that shed house." I think they call them a shouse. And that's I'm not making that up. I think that's what they're called. There are shouses. So I says, "Oh, right on." So that kind of pricked my ears up a bit, and I wanted to find out a little bit more about it because it's going to be expensive. It would probably cost me if I did it cheaply. It would probably cost me about $30,000 or more to build a cabin by myself. That's a lot of money. I yeah. So I got talking to him, and he says, "Yeah, I'm gonna go with I think he said 16-foot wide by 36-foot long." And I went, "Wow, that's pretty big. Yeah, it's roughly, I don't know, I think around 600 square foot or so." I thought that's not too bad. So I uh, I asked him a bit more about it, and come to find out it's rent to own, no credit check, no down payment, none of that stuff. It takes them 8 weeks to build it. Um, Now there's different price packages. You can get the plain Jane giant empty shed, to where you insulate it and you run your wiring and however you want, or you can get the premium package, which is it's done. They spray foam the floor and they cap it. Foam insulation in the walls and everything like that, and spray foam insulation is fantastic insulation. It's the same concept as a cooler, basically a styrofoam cooler. It might get warm on the outside, but it stays cold on the inside, so it'll be great in the summertime. It's got, I can't remember, there's one or two lofts in them and stuff like that, and I thought, huh, that would be fantastic, especially in the wintertime because heat rises. And I plan on buying a pellet stove. I was going to do the wood stoves, the bus, and that's great for when I'm at work for 10 hours or 12 hours a day, whatever it ends up being. The wood stove is going to be burnt out, and then I run run the risk of my water lines getting frozen and stuff like that. Now it's PEX tubes, so they generally don't break, but still, if I come home and I want to take a shower, I want to take a shower. you know. Um, so I'm going to get a pellet stove. It's not a huge investment, but they're very efficient, and it's cheap to run. For probably less than $1,000, I could heat my house or bus or whatever all year round if I wanted to. So that's what I'm going to go with. I'm going to take the one wood stove out. I'll my bedroom in case I get a little chilly somehow. I'll have the little one still. Excuse me. When I build my little shed, I'm going to put a wood stove in there so the water lines from the well don't freeze. I'm going to insulate that too. Um, but so Brian's going to get me this guy's, yeah, maybe dozens. We'll see, sweetheart. So Matt's going to get me this guy's number or email or something, and get it to me so I can get in contact with them. Because like I said, it takes 8 weeks. And they bring it out here and they build a little block foundation and they set it for you and everything. It's all included in the price. It's for the fully pimped out. I can if I got YouTube TV, I could, but I really don't watch a lot of television. I pretty much I watch a little bit of Netflix here and there. Stranger Things basically is why I have Netflix, and I actually have it from um, the Philippines, so it's really cheap for me. So um, it's sorry, it's yeah, I could, YouTube TV is essentially cable, but I just like I said, I don't watch a lot of TV. 99% of everything I watch is YouTube. I've got a few channels I watch, and a couple of different things. If I want to learn how to do something or rough ideas like to build a schoolie, I was watching a channel on a couple building a schoolie. Um, just to give me a couple ideas and stuff like that. I watch videos on how to do it well, and I clearly, yeah. Um, so that's really what I do. So yeah, I'm gonna get one of those 16 by 36 footers, and I have enough carpenter skills that if I wanted to, I could. I got a smoky fire going because the mosquitoes out here. Oh my lord, are they terrible? But and it's really smoky right now. The wind just shifted. So if it comes down to it, and we've got to put another bedroom on it, I can build an addition off of it. Right where I'm sitting is actually where it's going to go. So eventually, I'll move the dog kennel and stuff, and off the front, which I'll show you guys the front view. This is my there we go. This is my view. I'm going to put it. Um, but right down there is the marsh. I got all these trees right here, and they're all oak. And I don't know if these oaks got oak blight at one time or what, but there's quite a few of them that are rotten on the middle. Every one that except for two of them that my buddy Ryan come out and cut down, um, were rotten in the middle. One of them was full of carpenter ants too, so we know that doesn't help. So I'm gonna take down a lot of these oaks, any of them that run the risk of falling on my bus or my house or me. The way my luck goes, there's a couple of decent sized maples. There's actually probably almost enough maples here that I could, excuse me, geesh, I could probably, thanks, Brian, I appreciate it, buddy. Uh, yeah, it's great, and what I want to do is the house is going to go here, and then I'm going to add a door to it. Um, then I'm going to have a nice walkout deck. Now I'm probably because I dug that hill out. If you guys seen that video, I dug that hill out and there I am. So, anyways, um, I'm probably 7 feet higher than the original ground level. Make sure that you save one tree. Oh, there's plenty of trees. Trust me. It's just not these nasty oak trees. They're as bad as popple trees. They're as bad as popple trees are in northern Michigan. They rot from the inside out. So a lot of them are going to come down. A lot of them are going to come down because, like I said, I don't want to fall. The where the payphone's sitting at, that tree there, um, it was huge. That thing is gigantic. I can't fit my arms around that stump, and I've got big arms. So that thing wide, okay. That thing wide, okay. One huge branch was leaning towards the bus. The other huge branch could have potentially fallen on the chickens, the dog kennel, or the solar panels. So that one needed to come. So my buddy Ryan, he's fantastic with a chainsaw. He come out here to cut it down, and I was wenching on it. Um, that thing, when it was getting ready to timber fall over, that thing split from where he was cutting it all the way up to where that Y was, and thank God it fell exactly where we wanted it to fall, because that thing could have went like this and it would have squashed the bus. It was that friggin' big of a tree. So I'm glad that thing's gone, because we get some pretty nasty storms that come blowing through here every once in a while, and I would have been pretty upset if I would have woke up squashed, to say the least. So but in front of me, all the trees except for there's let's see, one, two, there's two big maple tree that I'm going to leave up, but all those other trees, all the little willows and scrub brush or whatever you want to call it, all that stuff's going to come down. Um, I might plant grass down there. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge fan of grass because I hate mowing it. So maybe I'll put astroturf down. I don't know. Maybe I'll put rock down there. I don't know. But I want to open all that up, and I want to have a nice walkout screened in uh, deck. So, Catherine and I can sit out there and have coffee and watch the wildlife. There's a lot of wildlife out here. I've seen a lot of deer. I've seen a lot of rabbits. I've heard squirrels. Um, I seen a cat the other day. I caught a cat on my security camera. It was like a house cat, and I'm thinking, how did that thing get out here? But little tiny no-see-ums out here. So we'll have a great view. It won't be exactly of the sunrise or the sunset or anything like that, because it's north. But I'm hoping that by some miracle, the chunk of land next to me comes up for sale. I would love to buy that too. If it comes up for sale before I get the house done, I'm going to put the house over there on the point, and then I'll be able to watch sunset. But it's gorgeous out here. I love it. It's peaceful. I haven't had no, you're not a lap dog. I haven't had any real issues other than finding water. Um, you know, um, the no, Dakota, come on, come on, go, go lay down, good girl. Um, the only silly thing is I need $100 permit for every single thing I do. This is like the worst I've ever seen. I had to get $100 permit for the bus to be here. The put the cab in here, I got to get $100 permit. If I can't put an outhouse in, there's no electricity out here either, and there probably never will be. The closest electrical pole I want to say is about 3 miles away, so that would probably cost roughly $500,000 to get power ran to my property, or Catherine and I's property. So that's not going to happen ever. Um, excuse me. So everything in that cabin is going to be ran off solar. That's another reason why I'm going to gradually build my backup battery bank bigger too, because I will have a refrigerator and a freezer in there to keep food, and everything's going to be 12 volts still, like the lights and stuff. Like I have little USB plugs everywhere, like I do in the bus. Everything I use runs off USB. My cameras, everything. So I I don't I don't need sorry um, a lot of electricity stuff. You know, I'll probably get a bigger, but it won't be a full size um, oven. But that'll be propane. So eventually, I will get a propane tank out here. One thing I do need to buy, because like I said, this is a no maintenance road. So when wintertime gets here, um, I they won't be plowing this road. So, I was going to look into buying a plow truck, but I was talking to my dad, and my dad suggested, and he says, you know what you should really get is a tractor with a 3 point hitch. You put the little back blade on it. He says you could drag all the snow out and keep your driveway open, and if whatever you need a tractor for, you've got a tractor to do it. And I went, that's a brilliant idea. And you can get a good tractor for you know $2,000. It's an older tractor, but they still run great. Oh, movie on. I know it's early, but will you be doing Dakota? Once I get a house out here, and once Catherine's here, when Catherine and our daughter's here, go lay down. Um, then yes, I'll be going to Michigan. By that time, my dad will be retired and living up at his cabin, so I'll be going there to visit him and my stepmom. My little brother. My little brother's got a YouTube channel now, where he does like hunting and fishing and stuff like that. Um, um, what else? So it'll be sometime next year. The bus, I've got it all hooked up. I don't know if you can see them, but right here, oh, no, I can't see them here. Right there they are. My power from my solar panels and everything. So I don't want to go through the hassle of taking all that stuff off. And I've got so much stuff to do out here that I'll have plenty of videos to be putting up. The other cool thing about this piece of property, directly across the street from me, is a land. I mean, a bunch of state land. So, um, right now I probably won't be doing any bushcraft camping trips. Nothing real super serious. Unless a company sponsors me a item to go test, then I can walk across the street, go test it. But in the wintertime, I definitely will be doing some hot tent camping. So I'm super blessed to have all that right across the street. I mean, before where I lived, to get to state land, I would have to drive upwards of an hour and a half to get to a good piece of state land where I could go camping and do my videos. The problem in the summertime was out in the pasture where I was living. The cows were out there in the summertime, so I couldn't go out there. Only in the fall, early spring, and in the wintertime, I could go out there and do videos. So after that, I had to start driving everywhere, which was terrible. Especially now with these insane gas prices, because I'm not going to get into why, but we all know why. Um, sorry. So, but yes, eventually there will be. We've got Catherine and I have family down in Missouri, um, so we'll be driving the bus down there to visit with them. We have family in Michigan, so we'll be driving the bus there. Um, and I've got good friends out in Wyoming, so I want to take a family trip out there, and I would love to go visit Yellowstone. Um, I haven't, even when I lived out in Wyoming, I was 5 hours from Yellowstone, and I never went and seen Yellowstone. Um, so I would love to go see that. I've got, um, yeah, I would love to take Catherine to the Devil's Tower in Wyoming, and Mount Rushmore would be cool. I would love to, just go explore different places. So with time that'll come. You know, um, I'm hoping that once everything's situated, Catherine and I will be able to go to the Philippines at least once a year to visit family. Maybe every couple of years. I don't know. We haven't really discussed it that much. Get out of here, you little annoying bugs. Um, so there's a lot of stuff that we will be doing in the future, but unfortunately, just not right now because get out of here, mosquito. All my time and energy right now is you know hold on, my iPad's reconnecting. It's probably gonna say can't reconnect even though I'm connected. Let's see. Is it? Oh my gosh, I got a gray hair in my beard. Yeah, I'm officially 40. I got a gray hair. Time to shave the beard off. But yeah, all my time and energy is gonna go to here right now. That would be awesome. I've never been there. Yeah, who knows? Maybe eventually the channel will take off enough that I'll be, we'll be able to just travel and stuff like that. But for now, this is the game plan. Going to be living off grid. Um, it's absolutely gorgeous out here. I speaking of off grid and power and stuff like that, I've got the solar panels. Um, Eventually, I'll set up all of them, and that'll be more than enough juice coming in to charge the massive battery bank I'm going to build eventually. Um, but I was talking to a good friend of mine out in Wyoming the other day, and he retired, and he kind of does like that storage wars thing where you go and you buy storage units and stuff like that. And I was telling him, because I haven't talked to him in a while, and I was telling him about everything that I'm doing out here and stuff like that. And I told him about the solar panels and stuff. And he says, I tell you what, he says, I have three really nice, like not the cheap $200 ones you get from Amazon, but like the couple of $1,000 ones that you buy from a company, um, wind generators. And there's generally a decent breeze. It kind of blows through and then comes up like this. Like generally the wind's blowing that way most of the time. Every once in a while we'll get a, you see, so west. Every once in a while we'll get a westerly wind coming this way. That was one of the reasons that tree had to go. Like the bad storms, the wind seems to come out of the west. But so what's cool about that is obviously at nighttime solar panels don't work. So what's cool is with that wind generator. Hey buddy, how's it going? It is going fantastic, sir. I finally have really good internet. Um, so my off-grid adventure is going to start getting uploaded to YouTube finally. And I'm going to be doing live streams more often and stuff like that. I like chatting with you guys. You guys have great advice, and you guys are always fantastic at uh, making me feel good about what I'm doing. That would be cool. Um, but so he's going to send me one of those wind generators, so that'll help. Uh, recoup power and everything also when at nighttime. So because at nighttime is obviously your batteries are just draining. So I can wire that in, and that'll help keep the batteries charged. Plus, in the daytime, I didn't realize this, but you can hook up multiple charge controllers to your battery bank. Earlier today, just to give it an extra boost, because it was cloudy the last few days, and it was real cloudy today. I ran the bus for a little bit because I don't want the bus to sit there and not running because that's really bad for diesel engines, for anything. But so once a month or so, I'll start the bus up, let it run for a little while. Well, today I hooked the jumper cables up and I helped charge the batteries back up to full capacity. Um, Excuse me. Um, so it's coming along. Um, Sorry, I heard a dog bark way off in the distance, and it's that whole squirrel. So um, that'll really help when he sends that solar or that wind generator, because I'll hook up a separate YouTube. Brian, thanks for stopping by, buddy. I appreciate it. Um, but so that'll help keep everything charged, and they're smart charge controllers, so they know not to overcharge your batteries and explode them. But like I said, right now I've got about 84 watt hours of juice, backup juice. Tell me that isn't a payphone. That is a payphone. It's not hooked up. I've that thing for probably about 4 years, and I at where I used to live before I bought the property and moved up here in the bus. Um, I had it hooked up to the telephone pole in my yard. It was just hooked to the telephone pole. It wasn't actually hooked up, so it was just a gag. So when I moved up here, that was one of the first things I grabbed to bring up here, and it's just going to be a gag and a conversation, point if friends ever stop by, um, or a conversation piece rather. But yeah, it's an old payphone, and that's the ladder I fell off. I didn't fall off it this time though because I tied it to that pole. But so yeah, I'm hoping to be able to get a hold of that guy soon about the house. Um, that would be awesome to yeah, that would be really freaky since how it's not hooked up to anything. My grandfather, my um, my dad's dad, he worked for a telephone company. I want to say it was Southern Bell, and I think AT&T bought him out eventually. But he retired from a telephone company, and he had one of the old payphones, where it had the rotary dial on it and like the little cup thing. It was old, and he actually wired that thing into his landline service, and it worked. It was the coolest thing ever. You didn't have to put money into it, but thank God. But yeah, it worked. It was so freaking awesome. But so yeah, it's just hanging out. I don't know if that's where it's going to stay, but I might end up mounting it to there. I haven't decided yet. But the other cool thing out here is I have not heard any coyotes, so I don't have a coyote problem. But allegedly, there is a bear that wanders around here. I haven't seen him, thank God, but I may or may not have a couple of pew pews sitting around just in case I need to scare something off. And I do have my bear spray and a shovel. But so yeah, I haven't seen a bear, and like I said, I haven't heard any coyotes, so that's cool too. But yeah, this is slowly coming together. It is. So next weekend, like I said, I'm gonna dig that and shore that up, and I'll film it and upload it. And then I think the following weekend, I think it's the 4th of July, and I have a 3-day weekend. So that's when I'm going to pound the well and hopefully have running water. Um, Now I am contemplating maybe getting some of those big plastic totes, those 250-gallon totes. I found them. They're food grade, so I don't have to worry about any chemicals leaching out or anything like that. I have contemplated getting some of those and kind of like, I don't know, I might get like 5, something like that, because I think that would give me around 1,200 gallons of water, something like that. I think. I don't know. Math's not my strong point. So I'm contemplating getting some of those and digging a deep trench and then burying them after I build a good solid wood frame around them, um, just to make sure they don't collapse. But I'm contemplating doing that. Once I get the shouse out here, if I can get a hold of that guy, um, then I'll run gutter to it and everything like that, and I'll have backup water in case my well fails or something silly. Coffee, I love coffee. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna possibly do that also, but it's all gonna wait and see, and it's gonna take time, you know. Um, but yeah, I would like to do that, and I can just hook a little 12-volt pump, camper pump up to it, and have water. I mean, that's what I'm doing with my little hand dug well right now. Is I got a little camper pump, and I got a hose running to a splitter, and it splits off to a garden hose, so I can water the chickens and water my raspberry bushes I planted, and I got another hose running to the bus for water. Um, like I said, I don't drink the water, and once I get the well, I don't plan on drinking the water. I might have it tested. I think here you can have it tested for free. So if I have it tested and it comes back like it's the fountain of youth and magical water and there's no nasty stuff in it, then I might drink it. I don't drink a lot of water. I cook with water. I make coffee with water. Um, if I drink water, it'll generally be out of a bottle. I just not a fan of water. I don't care for the taste. To be honest with you, I was buying these sugar free mixed things, but they taste a little bit funny. So yeah, but yeah, so it's getting there. I'm proud of the work I've done so far, and I do. So yeah, here's what happened with that. Um, when I built that, I forgot to put a drain in. It just completely escaped me. So what I did was I turned the pump on, and the drain line I made for draining the water lines, and I pumped all the water out of it. The problem is a little bit of water stayed in the PVC pipe that I've got connecting the two of them, and it froze over the winter and it broke. I've got the parts to fix it. I just have not fixed it yet. I was going to do it before I left, but I got in such a hurry and everything that I didn't, because I was going to fix it and fill it up before I brought the bus up here, because that's 110 gallons of water. Now, what I did do is I bought two more of those 55-gallon drums. I got to rinse them out a little bit better. I rinsed them out once. They had vinegar in them. Um, so I'll rinse them out again. But I found a place in a town near me. It's like $10, because like I've got the holding tanks for the gray water and the black water, and I got to get one of those little um, portable poop haulers. I don't know what they're called, um, but I got to get one of those, and so I can drain those holding tanks into it, and then I can take it to this place. Excuse me, and it's $10. I can empty empty those holding tanks, um, and I can fill those other two 55-gallon drums that I've got fresh water that I could drink if I wanted to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix the holding tanks in the bus. If for some reason this well doesn't work, I'm going to fix those. I need to fix them regardless, because I'll if I'm still for some reason in the bus in the wintertime, I'll be using those holding tanks. Um, because I don't want to be running the well all the time. The well will basically sit in the wintertime until those holding tanks get low. Then I'll go hook a hose up to it and fill my holding tanks back up. But so what I'll do is I'll get those holding tanks fixed, and then I'll go back and pay another $10, and I'll fill the two spare holding tanks I've got. So that way I'll have it would be 220 gallons of water on the property, which that will last me a while. Um, you know, when a bird just flew right past my head, I was like, "What the hell was that?" Um, when I take a shower, I don't use a super large amount of water. I got one of them solar shower things that kind of suck, but like that thing I want to is like a 5 or 6 gallon, um, and it will last me 2, 3 showers. Um, but so I'll have enough water on hand until we get other things figured out, if this well somehow fails. And again, if the well does fail, then what I'm going to do is probably get 4 or 5 of those big 250-gallon holding tanks. I'll dig a big trench and build a thing around them. I'll build a fill cap for it right now, and I'm sure somewhere around here in Minnesota there's a company where you can get water, because I know people that have cisterns. Cisterns? I think they're called cisterns. Um, for their water. So there's got to be a place that you can get water to fill them. I'm not making 900 trips with two 55-gallon drums, I'll tell you that right now. But, you know, I mean, 1,200 gallons of water would last me over a year. So, you know, I'll that'll be something I'll have to look into. And if that's the case, that's the case. You know, I would love to get a well done professionally, but the problem is you can't get anybody to put a sand point in, because they're not illegal to put in, but a company can't legally put them in for some silly reason. Even though I'm not going to be drinking the water, I can't hire a company to put a shallow well in. So they have to go down to the good water table, which is upwards of 150 feet down, it could be. Um, and that would cost probably $8,000 to $10,000. So it's just that's not going to happen. I'm not going to spend that kind of money to get a well put in. You know, so I'll come up with alternative means. I'll collect rainwater, and if for some odd reason it doesn't rain enough, then I'll take and get I'll hire a company to bring me water. You know, if that's what it comes down to. But so I'm hoping the well works out. You know, if it don't, that's gonna suck. You know, especially after, you know, renting that mini excavator. It's not that expensive. It's a couple $100 for the whole day, which I could do a lot of stuff with it that I need to do. Um, you know, so I'm not overly concerned with that. I kind of need one anyways. Like I said, I need to move a few things, and I might take it down there and push over this stupid popple tree and a couple other trees, and then drag them out of the way with it. Who knows? We'll see. Excuse me. But you know, and it's those chickens are so goofy. I like watching them. You know, so there's it would suck to do that. A guy I work with, my buddy Jerry, he lives real close to me, about 8 miles away. He's got a great big 3/4 ton pickup truck. So I'm either gonna pay him to do it, or put gas back in his vehicle to use it, um, to go and get that and bring it out to the house. Um, so I can get that hole dug. And then, like I said, the following weekend, after I get that all shored up and everything to where it's not going to collapse on me, um, then I will pound the well the following weekend, and get out of here, you little bugs. Once I measure it and make sure that I would love to have at least 4 foot of water in the pipe. That would be fantastic. Or it would be really awesome to be to hit a artesian well would be even better. But I could fill the pond up. So, um, yeah, I just, Dakota, come on, you pest. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, Goofy? I need to brush you, and you need a bath. So get out. So, what is your favorite cut of meat? Um, come on, steak. I guess I really don't have a favorite. You know, excuse me. Back in the day, there used to be this door-to-door delivery steak salesman that would go to my dad's, and he used to get these filet mignon that were wrapped in bacon. Oh my God, those things were to die for. But I love a good ribeye. You know, I like T-bone, but it's not my favorite. But you know, ribeye is really good. Come on, get out. Dakota, no. Go lay down, you goofy dog. So, yeah, meat's meat to me. Pork chops from a pig, sweetheart. But I appreciate it, Brian. That would be awesome. I have a beef tenderloin. I'm thawing out in the refrigerator. I'm gonna have that probably for breakfast tomorrow. Um, or the dog. I might butcher her too. I don't know. I haven't decided. She's being a pest. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Being a pest. Yes, you are. Being a pest. Yes, you are. All right, come on, get down, knucklehead. So, um, no, Dakota, come on, quit. Go lay down. Go lay down. Go. Go lay down. Thank you. So, yeah, she needs a brushing. I got a dog here on my face now. Go lay down. Um, yeah, it doesn't matter. I love steak. Oh yeah. Dakota's a sweetheart. I spoil her. She gets table scraps and she pre-washes the dishes for me, and she sleeps at the foot of the bed and sometimes on the couch. So yeah, she's a very happy, spoiled dog. She's a very good dog. I've essentially put almost no training into her, and she is just fantastic. You know, I've had one other dog like that. Well, two other dogs like that. One when I was really young, but and my other dog, her ashes are in the bus right now. But her name was Shadow. She was a black lab, where Dakota's a chocolate lab mix. Shadow was a black lab mix, and everybody thought I named her Shadow because she was a black dog. And no, I named her Shadow because she was my shadow. I mean, she literally, ever since she was a pup, the first day I got her, everywhere I went, she went. She always walked right next to me. And every once in a while, you know, they do venture out a little bit, especially if they have to go potty. But Dakota's the same way. She will walk right next to me. You know, I've basically never ever had to put her on a leash. Now I do have a training collar for her, but you know it vibrates, it beeps, and it shocks. I have never ever had to shock Dakota. Um, I've only had to use the vibrate feature on her probably two or three times when she was being a knucklehead, not listening. But generally, I just hit that beep button and she comes running, and she'll sit right next to me. Um, she's just a fantastic dog. So she is a bit jealous when like I said, when I'm video chatting with Catherine, she'll get jealous that I'm not talking to her. So sit there and try to get my attention like a little pest. Yes, you will, won't you? But yeah, Dakota's a real sweetheart. So you know, she's been a dang good dog. She's I think she's 2 years old now. When I clean it, absolutely. I'm still a little disorganized in there. Um, you know, I bought this little dresser thing to start putting my clothes in. I've been buying big bottles of water because they're dirt cheap at the Dollar General. So I've been buying them for my coffee and stuff like that. No, you can't go play with the chickens. Quit whining. Um, so it's in a bit of disarray. I need to sweep it out. I do have a little shop vac that I can run off the solar panels. Well, technically off the power inverter, but yeah. So I tracked in some clay and stuff like that. I need to vacuum that stuff up. Um, so once I get it back into order, yeah, definitely. You know, I'll be filming some videos in there, some cooking videos, and you know, so you guys know what I'm eating and stuff like that. You know, I made some. Um, oh gosh, dang it! It was a dish that Catherine made for me in the Philippines. Um, what is the name of that? Gosh, dang it! It's pork, and it's like in this sweet. red sauce stuff. I just, God, for the life of me, I can't remember what it is, but it's like really thin shaved, almost like a thick roast beef um, cut. And they eat it like that, and they eat a lot of rice. Um, but they generally eat the rice plain, and I'm thinking to myself, this stuff is freaking amazing. Um, God, it would be really good if it was cooked with pineapple chunks and put on top of rice. It would be like a Chinese dish in the Philippines. So, ironically, in the big town where I work, there is a Filipino store ran by Filipinos, ironically. but so that is really freaking awesome because I fell in love with the 3-in-1 coffee over in the Philippines, and they sell it there. And they also sell that pork stuff that I can't remember what it is called for some reason. I thought Catherine would have chimed up by now. Um, Let me ask her real quick. I can't remember for the life of me what that is called. Where did my rep go? What is that called? So yeah, she must have fell asleep. But yeah, for the life of me, I can't remember what that stuff's called. Yeah, it's right on the tip of my tongue too. Uh, Thank you, I appreciate it, Shannon. Um, yeah, gosh dang it, I can't remember what that stuff is called. I want to say it starts with an L. But anyways, so they sell that at the Philippine store. So I went there and I bought some. I actually bought 2 packages of it. I just don't have any pineapple right now. But what I do is I take my meat scissors and I cut it up into little bite-sized pieces, and I put that and the pineapple with a little bit of the juice in there and cook it, and then put it on top of rice, and it is fantastic. So I'll be doing little meals like that. And there was another dish that I had over there called sig, which is pork belly and some other stuff and some mayonnaise for some weird reason. And you serve it on a scalding hot cast iron dish, and then you crack an egg on it, and then you mix it all up, and it is delicious. Well, ironically, I have a bunch of side pork, which is pork belly basically. Actually, I think it is the same thing. I'm not sure. I might be wrong. So I have a bunch of that from the pigs that I raised, and so what I what I'm going to do is make some of that too. I'm not going to spend the money on one of those cast iron dish things. They're like $20 each for some silly reason. But I have a small cast iron pan, so I'll just use that. It's the same thing. I can take a piece of wood and split it, and there's the wood serving tray. So, but yeah, that's a dish I'm going to make one of these days, and and I'll be doing stuff like that, and probably just filming my day-to-day activities out here. Like when I've got to do different random things. Just filming bits and pieces of that. It's the channel has changed from my bushcraft days and stuff like that. I got older and a little bit crippled up, and the heat gets to me here in Minnesota for some reason. Out in the Philippines, the heat didn't bother me, but for some reason here in the heat's been bothering me the last few few years. Um, Eventually I might get more back into the bushcraft stuff, but I got too much going on right now, unfortunately. Um, so it kind of sucks that I'm doing all that stuff, but I'm doing these new adventures, And I sure hope you guys stick around and keep watching them with me, or watch. Yeah, whatever. Keep watching them. Um, you know, but yeah, I wanna do this off grid thing, and eventually it will eventually lead to going on family adventures and stuff like that with the schoolie, and I gotta come up with a name for that thing. Um, and you guys will see Catherine and I's life progress, and our children eventually, and I mean it's a surprisingly big money saver living off grid once you get everything in place. Um, and you're like, I don't know about you guys, but my electric bill has just been climbing. Literally at the house right now, I literally have a refrigerator, a small chest freezer, a Tocino. There we go. That's what it's called. It's called Tocino. Um, but yeah, that stuff is amazing. But yeah, I'll cook. I'll probably do that next weekend or something. I was gonna do it this weekend, but I got too busy. I had to work today, and by the time I got the internet figured out and all that, I had bologna sandwiches. So I might cook some popcorn later for a snack. I haven't decided. But so really, it's. I think the channel's going in a good direction um, with this off grid stuff. But what was I talking about? The power. So literally down there at my house, I shut the well off down there because I don't need it on, and it would be terrible if a line broke and nobody was there. Um, 'Cause like I said, I'm gonna be there probably the next. No, I'm not gonna be there, but I'm gonna have that house probably the next 2 months before I can get a dumpster and get it cleaned out and stuff like that. Um, so it is what it is. But um, what I'm going to do is, or sorry, jeez, oh Pete, God, I'm drifting off. um, so the refrigerator, that small chest freezer, and I have one LED bulb, or sorry, two LED bulbs that are on 24/7, so it kind of looks like somebody's there at night. Um, obviously the furnace isn't running. There's no air conditioning running. None of that stuff. My electric bill is still $45 a month. Um, and I'm thinking, there's nothing on. How is that high? So when I go back down there again, I'm going to clean that refrigerator out, and I'm going to unplug that. The chest freezer I can't do yet because I don't have the, the micro chest freezer um, yet, which I plan on hopefully getting that in the next few weeks. Um, they're dirt cheap on Amazon. They get really good reviews. They're like $189, I think, free shipping. Um, and they're 3 cubic feet, and they're upright, which I those are so nice compared to a chest freezer, because chest freezer you're always digging around and stuff like that. That's how I found out I had all this pork left. I was digging through there, and apparently I put all the pork at the bottom. But excuse me. Um, so uh, getting one of those next few weeks, and I've got quite a few beef roast left, and I've got a big pork tenderloin which I'm going to smoke. Um, and then I've got, what else do I have? I got all that side pork and everything down there. So this little chest freezer I'm going to get should fit all that stuff. And like I said, it doesn't use much electricity. So yeah, I'm pretty stoked about the future out here. I really am. And like I said, I'm really hoping that somehow this chunk of land next to mine comes up for sale. That there's two pieces across the street from me that are for sale, but I don't want to own property across the street. I'd rather expand my property this way. Um, that just makes more sense this way, you know. So yeah, but yeah, no, it's all coming along. I'm super duper excited, and I really hope you guys stick around for the adventures. You know, hopefully I can get Catherine here sooner than later. I still have quite a few videos. I'll start uploading them from a trip over to the Philippines. Um, I think I'm getting close to where we went to this gorgeous, gorgeous waterfall out there. Oh my God, it was just so beautiful. We went there with Ryan and Chu and went swimming, and then we stayed at a really nice resort for a night with Ryan and Chu. And I think I think I filmed some of the wedding party. I don't remember, but so I'm gonna start. You know, I'll kick one or two of those videos out. Those ones are gonna stay short. You know, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. Um, some of these videos I filmed out here are again going to be short, little 15, 20-minute videos. You know, when I do a big project, maybe I'll make a bit longer video, or you know, if I got something big going on. You know, once wintertime gets here, I'll be making some bigger videos with the hot tent and stuff like that. Um, you know, so it's I don't know, it should be cool. So, but I have been rambling for 97 minutes and 23 seconds, and surprisingly have not lost my voice. Um, so I think I'm gonna let you guys go for now. You're such a goofy dog. So, um, yeah, so I think I'm gonna let you guys go here and get down, Goofy. Um, yeah, I'll have my first real off-grid video, other than when I did the driveway work. Dakota, come here. But I'll upload my. I'll probably do the solar panel video. I haven't decided quite yet. It is 8:38 p.m. here. So yeah, I'll probably what I filmed. To be honest with you, it's all on my SD card. So I'm gonna start in chronological order, but I'll upload a video tomorrow for you guys, um, and then I will keep going from there. You know, I'll have a video out every week, and I'm gonna probably try to do a live stream every Sunday if that works for everybody. You know, just kind of give you guys an update and everything like that. Once I get the bus straightened out, I'll be probably doing some live streams in there if it's crappy weather out and stuff like that. Like I said, we have got some pretty impressive storms out here. There's thank you. So yes, absolutely, Brian. God bless you too. So thanks guys for sticking around. Thanks Jamie for the super chat or super sticker. I don't remember which one it was. Um, you know, thank you guys. Thanks for waiting for me. I know it's been real hectic for probably the last 3 or 4 months. It seems maybe even longer. But you know, I've just been insanely busy, unfortunately, and I've finally gotten to the point where I've got the time and the ability now, thanks to Starlink, to start doing all this stuff. I'm going to do a quick speed test and see what kind of internet speeds I'm pulling right now. Now, a couple years ago, I had that HughesNet crappy internet, so that stuff was absolute garbage. It was super slow, and the upload was terrible. It was expensive and just horrible. So I'm so glad that this Starlink's available. Um, but you know the one thing, and it just launched about another 60 satellites into the heaven. It's going to get faster. It's going to get more reliable. It's just a matter of time. You know, once I get a physical address out here, I might see about. And no, I'm going to keep it the way it is. because I like being able to go anywhere I want with the internet. But excuse me. Eventually, you can kind of see it there behind the bus. It looks like two curtains hanging. Those are actually wall tapestries I bought months ago. They look like the forest. I hung them up because um, when I step, I don't want somebody driving by, and I hung them up. But eventually, Menards has them on sale right now for fence panels. Eventually, I'm going to put an actual wooden fence up with a gate. Um, I'll probably use a fence panel as a gate so I can, because I got my boat and my canoe and my trailer is going to be on this side of the gate so somebody don't wander off with it. Um, so, yeah, eventually it'll be built also, but and it'll give me privacy. Like I said, I may step outside my boxers on occasion. Do you watch myself for I think I've watched a couple of them. I'm not 100% sure. Um, Inlines and trap lines. He's a young kid up in Alaska. He's living off grid basically. He does a lot of hunting and stuff like that too. But I don't hunt anymore. Um, but yeah, I might get back into hunting. I haven't decided. But when Catherine gets here, we will be raising chickens to eat, also not just the eggs. Um, so we'll be doing stuff like that. I might raise a pig again. Who knows? It all depends on how well my solar array does and how much power I can maintain. It would be terrible to have a big chest or a big upright freezer packed full of meat and the power go out and lose it all. Another thing I'm going to buy eventually is it's a generator, but it's a generator inverter they call them. It's a lot more efficient than a regular generator. I will be purchasing one of those before winter time just for backup power in case the sun never comes back out again or something. So I can, if I got to charge the batteries or whatever, I'll have one of those. I found a really good one on Amazon for like 300 bucks, and it's like a 4,000 watt, I think, and it'll run, and I think the fuel tank's like 1.2 gallons. It'll run for like 8 hours on half load. So 2,000 watts, which I won't be using 2,000 watts energy. So that thing's really efficient. Plus, you can put bigger tanks on them. But so eventually I will have a backup generator. Um, Again, eventually I will have that wind generator. I would drive out there to pick it up, but with the gas prices right now, unfortunately, that's not going to happen. It's I want to say a 12-hour drive to where my buddy lives in Wyoming, and then it would be a 12-hour drive back. Um, so and yeah, it would cost so much in gas because the insane gas prices. So hopefully those go away. But yeah, so it's beautiful here. I can't wait till the fall time gets here because like I said, all those trees out there are going to be gone. I'll have a beautiful view of the leaves changing colors. Um, I'm hoping to still get to it. I'm not 100% sure, but I do want to put a garden up somewhere. I'm probably going to do raised beds so I can eventually move them. Um, Unfortunately, there's not a whole lot I can do out in the marsh. I can build a solar array if it's off the ground, and I can, obviously put my satellite dish for Starlink out there because it's on a raised platform off the ground. I'm allowed to do that stuff as long as it doesn't affect the water because I technically don't own the water. That's why I can't take water from the marsh. That's why I had to dig a well and stuff and pound a well. I basically reverse rent that to the state. I own it for it, but the state has control of it. And unfortunately, because there's uh, there well, if there's cattails, I have not explored it. I don't see any right here, but this thing is somewhat big. Um, Unfortunately, if there's cattails, it's considered a wetland, and there's nothing I can do with it. If there is no cattails, then I believe I can fill it in, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I can dig it out. I would love to be able to dig or dredge, whatever you want to call it, my section out, and have a nice pond, and to be able to throw some fish and stuff in there. That would be fantastic. Throw some hybrid bluegill in there, and I'd have my own private little fishing pond. But the whole legality of it and everything like that, I don't know that I can do that. I think um, if I get Ducks Unlimited involved, there's things that can be done to it to make it more of a pond. But I got to look into it more. Um, but yeah, I would love to clean all that floating green land stuff out. I would love to do that and dig it down a little bit deeper and put some fish in it. Maybe have a nice swimming hole. That would be fantastic. Um, but uh, as far as I know right now, I can't. So there's plenty of lakes up here to go fishing. I mean, this is the land of 10,000 lakes, even though there's actually over 1,000 lakes in the state of Minnesota. So that's another thing that I'm going to get back into is fishing more. Now, I'm not a big fish eater. I'll eat a walleye, I'll eat some perch here and there, but I just love catching them. I love catching them and releasing them. You know, every once in a while, if I catch a nice walleye or a couple of nice perch, I'll keep them and I'll clean them and I'll eat them. Catherine loves fish, as far as I could tell, so that might change a bit. I just not that big into fish anymore. I don't know if it's just because I kind of fell out of the ability to go and catch them constantly, or what's going on. But it is what it is. You know, so um, but all right, it has been 100 and almost 9 minutes I've been talking. So I will let you guys go for now and go lay down. Thanks for stopping by. Looking forward to the next time we have another live chat. So I will talk to you guys later. Dakota says bye. All right, quit. How do that's not how you do it. Oh, there it is. Sorry, it's been a while. No, that's not it either. What's this do? Oh, cool. Hey, look, we're black and white. Ooh, weird. Hey, old time movie. Huh. Ah, there we go. Found it. All right, talk to you guys later.